So our last one, Scandal. Oh, we didn't get a cookie.
You changed.
I did change. It was an A-, and then it went to a B+. I know. I really like Scandal, and I think it's really sharply written. But at the end of every episode, when I decompress from it, I realize that there are a lot of things that I wish it did that it didn't do because it spends so much time rushing. Like they all speak fast. They all want to get through the plot points fast, and I respect that. No, I respect that. But there are things that I wish they would have slowed down and taken more time to do.
Okay.
Like for example, I'm just not entirely convinced that we're never gonna see that. Oh god, now I can't remember her name. Liza Wheel's character.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that just went away. And there's no repercussions for Cyrus. Like, we're the only ones that know how bad of a guy Cyrus actually is. I feel like that is a problem. Not poor Cyrus. He's a horrible, horrible person. Okay. I mean, Jeff Perry's doing a phenomenal job, but that character is a horrible person, and we're the only ones that realize that.
Well, we know he did that horrible thing.
He's also a terrible...
He's not the best husband.
Well, he shouldn't have even... He only married him for spousal privilege.
I'm just saying.
So, yeah.
Okay. I said he's a terrible husband.
So like, there are certain things that...
He's a lovely bad guy.
Yeah, he's great. Oh my god, he's great. So there's certain things like that where, you know, I enjoy, as we just talked about how we want to get to know supporting characters more, I enjoy that this time, so far this season, we are really getting to see a lot of, at least right now, Huck.
Yeah.
And even to a certain, you know, I mean, Quinn, obviously, and to a certain extent, Abby, but... I feel like that's taking away from Olivia in weird ways that, like, I miss Olivia. I feel like we're not spending, at least the last few episodes, we're not spending a lot of time with her, and when we are, it's all about Fitz, because as we know from that episode, it's all roads lead to Fitz. But that makes me a little sad, because, like, she's not just this woman who's all about this guy. But I feel like
she kind of is right now.
Right now, that's what I'm saying. I feel like right now we're too focused on that aspect of her, and I want to get back to the Olivia we met in the beginning, who was so strong and able to like keep it together, even though she had this secret and this weight on her.
That's fair. I mean, I just feel like for me, you know, I think one of the I'm really interested to see how Scandal the rest of the season plays out, because they weren't originally going to have 22 episodes.
Right.
And they were planning on 13.
And they sped through so much already mid-season.
So I kind of wonder how
that's part of what I'm saying. Like, I just think it was too much too soon.
Right.
Like, it was so plot heavy that I feel like you just lost a little of the characters.
I feel a little bit like Scandal season 2 is very much like Grey's Anatomy season 2, which to me is a good thing, because I love Grey's Anatomy season 2.
I didn't watch it, but
whereas, you know, the show didn't really blow up for Grey's Anatomy until season 2, and I feel like Scandal is starting to blow up. People are starting to pay attention to it. It's starting to get attention. You know, Oprah cares.
I'm surprised Oprah didn't care from the beginning, because it's Shonda.
Maybe she was burned from Grey's in private practice. But no, it's one of those things where, you know, I feel like I enjoyed the show in season 1. This is one of the ones where I definitely graded against season 1. I enjoyed it in season 1. I was intrigued by season 1. But it wasn't as compelling. I feel like, you know, now it's like, yeah, you know, Twitter kind of forces you to watch immediately, because God knows ABC has spoiled so much of their end scenes with the Twitter hashtags. Really, you couldn't be a little bit less spoiler-centric? Anyways, that's another rant for another day, because that will be ranted upon. But
they didn't spoil who did it.
Yes, they did.
Did they on Twitter?
Yeah, they did. They spoiled the shooting, and then they spoiled Huck.
But it wasn't.
No, but that when you think about it, it is. And then
I never thought it was him. I thought it was Red Herring the entire time.
Yes.
But for me, I'm like, oh, they're doing that thing where what Ringer did last year, where they tried. Which let's not compare it to Ringer. It's much better than Ringer. But
good God.
But what I'm just saying, like, to me, that wasn't a spoiler because it wasn't true, and I thought it was obvious. It wasn't true.
It seemed obvious, but at the same time, it was what they were presenting to be true at the time, and they still spoiled that.
Okay.
And they spoiled the shooting. I mean, literally, I could not get off Twitter fast enough, so they were like, don't be on Twitter for the last few minutes. I had to do something for work, and literally ABC started trending out who shot Fitz, and it's like, you could have just gone OMG Scandal, and there would have been less characters,
yeah,
and it would have been just
at the same time, I don't feel like knowing that moment is coming.
Yes, that totally ruined it for me.
See, Okay.
Because I was watching that with the knowledge, and had that not happened, I would have been shocked.
See, but the minute Melly was in the limo, I was like, oh, someone's getting shot.
Yes.
And I thought it was going to be her because I thought they were going to lose the baby. Because, I'm sorry, but America's baby, no.
I like Melly. I think she's
I like
fantastic.
Melly. No, I like Melly.
I still
America's
want her to
baby,
have
no.
weapons underneath her belly.
She probably does.
I know. Anyways, but no, this is it's one of those things where.
Okay, but so just because you said grading against the curve a second, or grading against itself a second ago, and I was like, and I realized that because last season was so short, and because it was so, I assumed, maybe I wrongly assumed, that it was so plot heavy last season to pack as much punch in the short amount of time. And that is why I said what I said about how I think it's too much too soon right now, knowing that it has the full season. But it actually, thinking about it now, it could just be that it's going to be that way all the way through.
I mean, it could be that way all the way through. It's, this is definitely the kind of show that it could go in every which direction, and it could spiral into a crazy shame of what the heck just happened.
I don't want it to do that.
I do not want to do that. But,
I'm rethinking my grade now. I'm like,
no. But it's like, look at something like Vampire Diaries. Vampire Diaries is something that moves forward with plot consistently, and they rarely. But they they waffle. They different. Yeah. It's different. But there's a lot of they
That's
definitely.
True.
Some shows are just faster paced, and it's a show that I find myself, assuming I don't get spoiled on Twitter, wanting to see immediately, because I want to see what's happening. I'm very interested. They've worked the flashbacks well.
I love the flashbacks.
They're making, I feel like they're doing a better job with the central triangle with Melly, Fitz, and Olivia than Grey's ever did. Because with Grey's,
I can't speak to Grey's, but I do feel like Scandal's triangle. It's a mature, it's an adult triangle. It's like look, we get our lives can't be what we want them to be, but we have to make this work.
Right.
How we make this work.
And I felt like
because they're in the public eye. If they weren't in the public eye, it'd be a different story.
Right. And I felt like with Grey's Anatomy, it was more of an adult thing where Derek did try to give his marriage to Addison a chance, and try to do the mature thing and forgive her for cheating on him and whatever. And
I don't see that as the mature thing. If
his mind,
if she cheats on you, you leave her.
And he did. But, anyways, no, I felt like that triangle. I really didn't actually like Addison until after that triangle was resolved, because I felt like there was so much that just they didn't make her likable. Whereas with Melly, it's like. I think she's better than Fitz at this point. I feel like she deserves someone who actually loves her.
Well, she does.
Right.
But I don't know that makes her likable.
No, but I like her character more, and I kind of want more for her character than I ever did with Grey. Like, with Addison, I'm like...
But that's what I'm saying, like, how I said about Olivia, how she's all about Fitz right now. Like, I like that with Melly, we're at least starting to see, well, she's pulled strings other places to show that she's not just some woman standing by her man. Like... I like that a lot, because I think that sets up for where she could go in politics and in general on the show. And that's, but if you're doing that with her and you're not keeping Olivia the same strong woman you kept her in season 1, I feel like it takes away, because Olivia's the center of the show. I'm
interested to see how that plays out once this kind of situation gets resolved.
And so that's why I changed the grade, because I was like, I don't know. I think if Olivia was what she was last season, A-, no problem. But I changed it because I feel bad for her. She's so frail and sad all the time. She looked so frail in the hospital, like just sad and like tiny. Well, she is tiny, and she's next to like big dudes. But what's her boyfriend on the show is a very tall man,
very, very big man.
So
okay.
Anyway. Well, that was a good way to end this. Those are our mid-season report cards for dramas. I'm Danielle at Danielle TBD.
I'm Marisa, and I've got no idea what's going on here. I'm Marisa Rothman.
Yeah.
God help us.
Stay tuned next time. We're going to talk about winter premieres that we're excited for.